Good day, children. Today we are going to learn History Chapter 1, What, Where, How and When. Children, you know what is history? History is the study about the past. Then how do we know about the past? There are several ways to know about the past. Let us find out what are they. We can know about the past by finding out what people ate, then we can find out what clothes they wore, then which houses they lived in, and the traces they left behind like stone tools, coins, pots, pans, etc. Okay, from these we can study about the past. These are the evidences to studying the past. See, you can see the picture. See, these are the stone tools which early people used in the past. Then the houses they lived and the clothes they wore. Then the pots, and see, you can see different pots and vessels they used in the past. And here you can see the coins they used, then the different ornaments they used in the past. From these we can study about the past. Now let us first study where did people live in the Indian subcontinent long years ago, several thousand years ago. Okay, children, now people lived. Where did people live? They lived along the river banks of Narmada. Can you hear here? Can you see here? Narmada river. Narmada river is in the middle of India. Okay, in Indian subcontinent, several thousand years ago, people lived along the Narmada river banks. You know why? Because of the availability of water. Water is essential for the survival. Am I right, children? So people lived along the river banks of Narmada. Okay, and what type of people were they? Let us find out. They were skilled hunter-gatherers. They were skilled hunter-gatherers. What do you mean by hunter-gatherers? They gathered or collected fruits, roots and other forest produce from the nearby forest. They gathered, they collected roots, fruits and other produces from the forest. Okay, and they lived there. Sometimes they also hunted animals. Then which is the next place people lived? Let us find out. The people lived in Sulaiman Hills and Kirthar Hills. These are the other areas where early people lived in the subcontinent. Okay, this is Sulaiman Hill and this is Kirthar Hills. Okay, and you know, here people they were farmers. They first grew crops in these areas. Okay, and they grew wheat and barley. They were farmers. See, this area is Sulaiman and Kirthar Hills. Their people were farmers. Okay, now, and they also reared animals like sheep, goat, cow. Okay, cattle. They reared cattle and they lived in villages. These people lived in villages, not like the hunter-gatherers. Hunter-gatherers were nomadic people. They moved from place to place in search of food and they collected food from the forest. Here people started a settled life. Am I clear, children? Understood? Okay. Now, which is the next place? The Garo Hills and the Vindhyas. Let us find out Garo Hills and Vindhyas. Okay, now we can find out Garo Hills. Here is to the northeast of the country. Here is the Garo Hills and Vindhya ranges. You can see just it is near to the Narmada river. Here is the Vindhya ranges. Okay, these two places people lived. Okay, and you know, rice was first grown to the north of Vindhya ranges. Rice was first grown to the north of Vindhya ranges, and in this areas also agriculture developed many thousand years ago. Okay, is that clear, children? Yes. Now let us see the other places which where people lived. Now river Indus and its tributaries. People also lived along the river Indus and its tributaries. Children, what do you mean by tributaries? Tributaries are smaller rivers that join to a large river. Okay, tributaries are smaller river that join to a bigger river. So where is Indus river? Can you see Indus river flowing, and you can see many tributaries join to Indus river. Okay, the smaller rivers that join to Indus river, and people lived along the river banks of Indus and its tributaries. About 4700 years ago, earliest cities flourished along these river banks, Indus river banks, and you will be studying about this earliest cities in detail in the coming chapters. Okay, children, that is what we call Indus Valley civilization. People lived in cities. Okay, they led a city life. Now, which is the next place? Ganga river and its tributaries. You can see Ganga river flowing here, okay, in the north. Just below the Himalaya, you can see Ganga river flowing, okay. Just see Ganga river is flowing, and here many cities developed on the river banks of Ganga also, okay. About 2500 years ago, many cities flourished along the river banks of Ganga and its tributaries. Right, children? Okay. Now, Magadha was a large kingdom that flourished. See, this is Magadha. Okay, Magadha is this. Okay, and this Magadha was is the area south of the river Ganga was called. You can see this is river Ganga. An area south of the river Ganga is called Magadha. This was a large kingdom during the ancient times in India. Okay, this was a large, very large kingdom, and this kingdom was ruled by powerful kings. This was a very powerful kingdom during the ancient period, and that flourished along the river banks of Ganga. Am I clear, children? Okay. Today we have learnt about the different places where early people lived in the Indian subcontinent during the ancient period. Okay, ancient means long years back, several thousand years ago. Okay, now you have understood the places where the early people lived. Yes, okay. Now, hope all of you understood. Thank you, children.